Radiant team ban.
All right, drafting time. Team Liquid and Team Tickles, one best of 3 here in the Western European DPC League. And may I remind you that every series is a playoff series. I felt like it was a little bit ago that we said that. So every series is super important, especially for these two teams. The goal is not just staying in upper division for these two teams. The goal is making it to Major. And in Team Liquid's case, seeing if they can stay on top. They beat OG already, which is considered one of the top 3. They can't afford to drop a single game if you want to get seeded directly into playoffs in the Major. So a lot at stake here, and we have a draft with Tickles on the Radiant side, Team Liquid on the Dire side, and yeah, we got some bans already. I'm here, of course, with Wagamama and with T-Governor, and they're gonna say Dota things, right?
Yeah, I guess the important thing again is to set the scene for Liquid, right? It's the fact that Matumba Man, he mentioned before, like this was his one last kind of shot he wanted to say. It was retirement. And then Liquid came around, so yeah, this team, if you're a Matumba Man fan, you want this team to like go flawless throughout the entire year, to give this man confidence, go, I'll play for another year, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if they start bombing it out,
is he gonna do that? I guess it's Dota. Everybody eventually comes back. Look at Jerax.
Exactly. So for this, it's like it's kind of happy to see Matthew still succeeding, even though he mindset-wise he was close to going out and then boom, back in, and now in very much still top form, of course.
Yeah, it's almost impossible not to be a Matumba Man fan, honestly. He's such a character. But at the same time, I feel Team Tickles here, I'm really wishing that they will do well in this series, because this is, like we highlighted earlier, an important time for them to show how strong they can be, and Team Liquid is a true test for them.
It's also kind of the period where the first tour, which is the first, obviously, league of the season, that's the best time to show up and take a fight to like the bigger names, because roster instability is a great thing, and like a team like Team Tickles, if you find that rhythm, you get to that first major, you do like that's what you season 2, 3, that's when you get a lot scarier.
Yeah, but it's not a good time to have any troubles that you might run into, like adjustments you need to make in your playstyle, not necessarily roster change or anything, but like you will face challenges and then you need to adapt to them. That's gonna happen. And it's good to have a tough team coming up now for Team Tickles.
10 seconds remaining.
Pick-wise, it's Liquid, of course, respect the IO in the tree. I don't think Tickles has played a single IO game so far in DPC, because, of course, respecting salary there. It would always be like a 5 position. I don't think Tofu would need to play it in this team.
IO is just such a hero that even if you don't have an exceptional IO on a team, you might still want to get rid of it, because it's just so annoying.
I mean, it's 2 spells, right? It's Tether and Overcharge, and then maybe a Locket and a Mech, and off you go.
Yeah, it's just about positioning and how well you play together with your core, and that hero can do so much. We see a bit of a minus armor combination coming out from Team Tickles already, Snap and Shadow Fiend.
They've done this twice before already, where it's Shadow Fiend plus Tide. They also paired it with Avenge as well.
Did they lane it together, the Snap and the
It was actually an offensive tri-lane of Shadow Fiend, Venge, and Tree all in one go.
What did I miss?
It did not go well.
They
did win the game, but the lane was a different story.
But that's the main thing, right? It's like Tickles have entered the first 2 series with the creativity of changing up lanes. I think a lot of teams got comfortable with obviously using TI as a benchmark of what to do, 2-1-2, have an annoying 4, etc. But now it's like Tickles has, I think, one of the few teams that has shaped up, or changed up at least, and gone first. I wouldn't mind seeing some more tri-lanes. It's so refreshing to see.
Tri-lanes are refreshing, but I'm still not certain that they're good. I think you start out, maybe get a kill potential, get a kill, and then TP out. Yeah. Like that's basically where Dota feels the most accepting towards tri-laning. Because full-on tri-lane, you just lose so much experience if you do this, I feel.
The cool thing as well with the draft so far is, of course, Liquid, just Mars, Mirana, right? You assume it's just going to be a lane pairing, because, of course, you have the spear set up from Mars into then an arrow. If either hero gets jumped, they kind of have defensive mechanisms through the rebuke of Mars to distance or the leap from Mirana. But then it's the bans that they have to use here. When you open up with Snap Shadow Fiend, sorry, you kind of tell your enemy, like, yo, we're going to be able to group up pretty well and run at you. And Tickles already before have played it with a Beastmaster, with a Tide. So Liquid having to use their bans to take away the comfort of what a Snap Shadow Fiend type lineup wants to do, which is farm for 15, group up, go Rosh, and then in the game. Oh, Rosh, sorry. Rosh. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That is what they what they excel at normally. But SF is also a hero. He doesn't have to stress it too much. You can go into that kind of mid-game power spike as well. Maybe not full-on late game, but mid-game SF just becomes such a beast. And we've seen so much carry SF lately. The hard-clicking SF is very difficult to deal with in the current patch.
You look the wrong direction and bam, you hit. But I think that's maybe as well why this Mars is a pretty good soft cover, right? Because
Arena.
Yeah, arena, right? You just throw the arena down on whoever you're trying to kill, and if Shadow Fiend isn't within the arena, or at least has to use BKB to enter the arena, you are going to be able to, isolate that damage and make sure you pick the correct fight. So I like the idea of the draft of Liquid. It's kind of thinking ahead, knowing if we don't pick Shadow Fiend, they'll probably pick it. So arena will be a big answer here. And now we get to see, again, a Liquid favorite, the Dazzle.
Remaining.
Yeah, they're the only team so far that has seen the value in the Dazzle. We've seen it twice from them on the position 5 on the Sania. And it's working out great. We don't see any other team looking at that hero even though.
I'm so surprised Dazzle didn't get more popularity after they changed his Poison Touch. Because now he wants to be the one continuously attacking. And in any 1v1 fight, Dazzle will pretty much win because he can just chase you down. You need to help when your ally gets caught by the Poison Touch. But even so, we haven't seen it picked that much, either in competitive or in high-level games overall.
I think it's one of those things, right, where when you pick Dazzle, you're then losing your team fight. So then you're looking at other heroes to cover you, right?
Yeah.
And at least Liquid, they've been picking in lanes where they know that Dazzle can do something to the lane, but also like they have an off laner that provides all the team fight. And then you can't forget that the key mechanic of Dazzle is it's not the fact that you have heals being pumped out, but the cooldown reduction. Like if you get this like a Glimmer Cape, right, or you rush any of these defensive spells, the effectiveness of them is so much better, right? You're just gonna be pumping out, double the glimmers throughout fights, double the 4 staffs. It's kind of cool, but again, you have to respect the fact that if you lose your lane and you're being run at, the hero is a little bit underwhelming. It's about winning and propelling yourself into the game.
Yeah, I mean Dazzle is a strong laner, and he depends on winning that lane, is what you're saying. If you don't, then his counterplay is like, okay, I'll go gank as
AFK
Dazzle.
in a tree line, right?
Yeah, I mean you basically sit behind a core and hope to get a good grave turnaround. So yeah, indeed he definitely does need to get some form of momentum going. But I still like it here in the draft, combined with aggressive hero who can stand on the front line like Mars. I think Dazzle plays quite well.
Are we just going to see like the Axe +1 style, which is like the generic answer? I feel like this is a bit too obvious to go Axe +1, Liquid then just has a counter pick in lane, but the idea of... The question is, how do they want to deal with Dazzle? 2 ways, right? You either pick like a Night Stalker style hero, you just stop him from casting spells, or you pick a hero that obviously just, obliterates the hero that's actually getting saved.
You can also go AA for Team Tickles here.
They're running out of time though. This is like only 10 seconds left. They go for it Undying.
Okay.
At least for one of the picks.
Not super sold on the Undying, but it is giving them even more power spike for their team fight. Their 5-man is going to be very powerful, but as far as the heroes on Liquid, it doesn't look fantastic for laning stage here. Mirana and Dazzle don't care much about Undying, I feel.
Yeah, I think the thing here is like Tickles, it's Dazzle wants to take long fights, and Undying loves long fights as well with Tombstone. And people might be going, yeah, but there's a Mirana in the game. But if Mirana's having to use like double leap to get to the Tombstone, there's going to be other heroes to cover that to then kill off the Mirana, right? So I think it's more about there's the Night Stalker. It's about they want to play these fights where they get the vision, and now they have 2 vision mechanisms, right? Tombstone on the high ground, Night Stalker when using ultimate flying around, they're going to be able to see everything to make sure that there isn't this Dazzle playing this perfect game. Like, it's going to be a hard game going into mid-game if Liquid aren't under wards to make sure this Dazzle's safe. Like, he's going to need a Glimmer and a 4-staff to even feel comfortable in this game.
I want to clarify something because we cycled through all the cameras of Team Tickles while they were taking through their bonus time, and you didn't see anybody talking, so you're like, what the hell? How is this even happening? But they have a very active coach that is helping them with the draft in Immortal Face, so that's probably who they were listening to. Also, another thing that we saw change from last time when we saw Team Liquid is that they are now all in their own locations. They have finished boot camp and they have flown back to their respective homes for the rest of the holidays, or the rest of the month, I should say.
Sometimes teams will play a lot better even when they come home from a boot camp, because they've gone through all the training and then they're in the comfort zone of your own home, and then you can perform like really well.
Also, I think Liquid is one of the few teams that I think I saw it on like Blitz's Instagram or something, where when they do their scrims and stuff from home, they're still on Discord with webcams.
Yes.
Having the same environment. A lot of teams at home, they'll just join Discord with voice but not like video, and it'll just be like, yo, just play. And it's treated like it feels like a pub at that point.
Yep.
But they're still doing like the basic stuff to have that humility of the team being together. It sounds like a small thing, but it's actually really important.
I think Liquid have always been really good at all these small things like, you know, physical wellness and different things. Like every little advantage you can get to push yourself better. I think that's a great thing, actually, having that commitment.
Yeah.
Because a lot of teams struggle to take every scrim as serious as a tournament game and feel that 100% commitment. And if you don't, then the scrim can be useless.
I mean, yeah, it's very easy. Like one bad pick or one bad kind of call, and suddenly you could argue that you wasted an hour of your time. And you know, back to the draft here, Liquid, they go for the Razor. Honestly, you just put this in the safe lane, you run down this Night Stalker, you don't give him an early game. There's going to be like Undying or Snapfire, no matter the support enabling Night Stalker, because of that sustain of Dazzle, which we haven't mentioned, especially in laning phase, Razor should have a pretty good time. And when you hit that first Night Stalker can't instantly kill a Razor.
It's a huge Razor pick. It's absolutely amazing in this game, and also quite good against Kunkka. There's one downside for Razor here, though, similar to what I was talking about with Terrorblade in a previous game, that SF can right-click down a Razor when it goes in. They do have physical damage enough to do so.
Ooh, and then, okay, so it is going to be mid Shadow Fiend into mid Bat Rider. They were kind of soft flexing Kunkka and Shadow Fiend because both can go mid, both can go carry. But with the Bat pick, they instantly just put Shadow Fiend middle. This is it's a pretty scary draft from Liquid because they just have like everything just looks clean, right? Mirana Mars, not many complaints there. Razor Dazzle, very strong lane. I think for, you know, Bat Rider can be the real changing point, but for Tickles, they're looking for some big fight in the mid game. Like their lanes aren't as strong for sure.
Tickle's team fight is ridiculously powerful though. So even if they were behind by several thousand gold, they can easily destroy a team fight, actually, is how powerful those heroes are in 5v5.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, it's a Bat pick last, you know?
Yeah, and it wasn't a snap pick. Like, they didn't need to think about that. They knew what was coming.
Yeah, it's like the type of Bat game where it's like bots BKB, and even if Tickles hit their timing, if he's in the right position at the right time being disruptive, here we have to tank a lot. So
they had already communicated that they need something to deal with the BKB SF here. If you don't have something that can handle him when he goes in, yeah, you can have the arena to try and shut him down a little bit, but you need something that can go on the SF or control him at least, so he doesn't just stand there and dish out damage.
Chunk out, yeah.
All right, well, let's see how high of tempo Mickey can set on his Bat Rider mid in this first game of the series. We're heading over to ODPix1 Jenkins for the game.
Thank you very much, GBS. Team Tickles ready to go against Team Liquid. Jenkins, what do you make of this? We're getting the bat through last here for Mickey. How scary is this for Team Tickles, or can they deal with the last pick bat?
Pretty scary. When I saw the bat, I let out a big oof, just thinking like, well, I thought it was maybe going to be like a Kunkka mid, but you have two melee heroes. Bat loves to play against that sort of thing. I think against SF, you're probably going to see Bat losing the early stage of the lane, but then once Bat gets like level 5, level 6, he can just run down the SF and kill him. All in all, I like both of these drafts. It's like both of these drafts are the staple heroes for both teams. Like we've seen Insania on Dazzle in pretty much every single game that he's played for Team Liquid. Matumba Man has been on Razor. Team Tickles, they get their SF. They also get their Kunkka carry. So I kind of expect whoever wins this game will probably win the series. Just because these are such characteristic drafts for both of these teams.
All right, well, let's see as we get ourselves into this. Game one, ladies and gentlemen, of Team Tickles versus Liquid.
First off, we start with a smoke. Team Tickles does this in every single game. I love that Celery does this. He always walks mid with a sentry ward. He doesn't even do it with the ward. Instead, he leaves somebody else to go ward. So that way you can see that Liquid is pinging. They think that he's placed a ward now. He does this in every single game, and then they have Ace or somebody go and place a ward elsewhere. And they did actually get a high ground ward from that. So
you don't think they'll suspect that at all?
I feel like they've probably watched the same replays that I have.
Sure, so they should know that they should do that.
But it is also a hard thing to guess because like he smokes everybody. So where are you guessing that the ward is? Because the last time I saw them do this from the Radiant side, they placed a ward on the other high ground. So like where are you going to expect these two wards? These are very strange positions for wards right now. Like they've won in their own jungle, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, what is it? And I guess that's just going to watch what for early movements over the mid, or?
Yeah, the Mirana, I think that's where Mirana likes to play, is in the jungle. She's probably, like her and Weaver are like the two best heroes at invading the enemy jungle super early because of Leap and because of Sakuchi. Okay, well, we got it. Sometimes you see the deny plus the bounty rune being taken at the same time. Frame perfect, but no, not that case. I like that they rotated on Team Tickles SF to mid instead of Kunkka, because I think Kunkka would get completely dumpstered. And of course,
absolutely.
Picking both the SF and the Kunkka, which they'll play both as carry, let them do this flex.
Yeah, and I feel like obviously we've seen SF for the most part recently being in the position one going for the no raise build, but you know, to be clear, what the raise build SF is still perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, for mid, it's like Purge described it really well in his cast. You go raise mid because you want to push out the wave and just go jungle, and it's also for, like, you know, killing people early game. So yeah, it's still fine. I think you'll probably still see Boom build into that sort of right-clicking SF, but you kind of play early game as a spellcaster and then transition to be more of a core.
Yeah, and I guess because you're the mid, and you are going to have that advantage in XP, it allows for...
That's true, yeah.
For you to sort of hit the timings where you're still going to have that powerful right.
Yeah, exactly.
A good time.
Exactly, yeah. Mid is a very nice role for XP and gold right now, and it's, you know, you just kind of shove the lane, take the easy camp. You can basically put anything mid as long as it can shove the wave.
Yeah. And is there any sort of level early on where this SF could be threatened by Mickey? It just doesn't happen really bad versus SF.
Yeah, Mickey, once he gets 6, I think there's a huge threat. Maybe even earlier, like the boots timing is really important for any Batrider matchup. You want to look out for that. And I think that's where you'll see Boom just pushing the wave and then going to jungle. You don't contest that. Nice setup.
Aaron's going to do it. Aaron's the spear. Good aggression from Liquid, gets the kill, and also top lane. Tofu, he'll put the fairy fire, but the poison touch is kept going there by Insania. Liquid will be off to a hot start here with 2 kills on both side lanes.
So what we just saw top is super characteristic of this iteration of Liquid so far in the DPC. Whenever they pick Dazzle safe lane, they've done it with Razor, they just run past the wave and like literally hit you. They double wave all the time, get that level 2 timing, and then they kill you. And it's just all about pressuring. And I've even seen Insania like spam easy camp single pulls, which is not a super common thing that you see because you push this massive creep wave into the enemy team. But if you do that, it bounces back and you have this scenario where your carry is free farming, but you have the advantage because you just bullied the hell out of them for the first 30 seconds of the game. Double leap.
Undying. We'll make a ghastly.
I think Celery just got a bunch of, yeah, he got 16 decay stacks.
That looks like they don't want to mess with that.
And Insania often doesn't leave the side of Matumba whenever he's playing Dazzle. I think just because like you have so much kill threat by just standing around. Boom, stacking for himself. Something else that you can farm with those raises. This is prepping for that timing that you were talking about, where like eventually the bat is going to get to the point where you can kill you, and then it's like at that point you just send your Snapfire mid to get XP, and then the SF goes in jungles probably. That's classic Insania, man. He always just sits there and trades with the 4 position on Dazzle. And I think it's super favorable when you have a Razor, because chances are your Razor is going to outlane 1v1 the enemy core, especially if it's a melee guy.
Bottom lane, looking for Duraccio. Foxy needs one more hit, but he's not going to be able to find it. And taking the tower hit, Foxy goes down. Tips coming out there. Duraccio.
Oh, that would have been clutch.
That would have been, I mean, that was as close as he gets there. Zai nearly being able to clip him with the spear.
Duraccio was smiling there. He's like, oh, thank goodness. Look at his smile. That's what I want to see this replay for. I don't care about the actual play. Just kidding. All right.
I didn't see a smile there at all, Jake.
It paused. Like, after that, he realized what happened. God damn it, production. Yeah, this is a classic.
Oh, bottom. Celery getting aggressive here with the tombstone drop down. He'll be able to take down Zai. Some good moves here from the Undying. Celery. I mean, off the back of, you know, that's for the early first death. Other than that, Team Tickles, they've been able to hold this bottom lane together quite nicely against Liquid Stewer.
Yeah, Celery's doing a great job pressuring, even though he doesn't have boots or Orb of Venom or any way to really like close the gap, which you normally like to see on Undying. But I think the reason that he went for this like big mango build and just mana regen is because Duraccio is going to be constantly harassing with Tidebringer.
Yeah.
So it's more so like he's getting them low HP with his decay, and then he doesn't need to hit them. Duraccio's all that they need to harass. Even stacking for himself here on the Kunkka.
Yeah, it's been working well. 29 CS on Duraccio. Free farm for him. Top lane Tofu.
So much pressure up here.
Yeah, he's just constantly getting bullied back out of the lane by Insania. Making it very hard for Tofu to really have any sort of presence right now in that top lane. Farm's still pretty decent here on the off lane for the Night Stalker. He's not, it's not a bad start at all. He's getting good farm.
Yeah, this is the problem with the push pulling and playing the lane this far up is, well, maybe you die for it.
Oh yeah, now we have the night time kicking in. This is the time that Ace and Tofu can get very aggro on this top lane. And actually poking towards Matu as well, but not quite in a position to dive the tower. Still though, Insania taken out, so it's not a safe place to be at night time.
Foxy has 2 points in arrow, which means he wants to prioritize farming a little bit more. And he doesn't consider that he needs to be the damage source for his team, which makes sense. You bat Razor.
Well, we're going to see Seto drop the tombstone down here, but he will be dead, and that tombstone gold will be fed.
That tombstone's worth almost as much as the kill there.
That's a pretty significant amount of a bump up to the gold that Mickey gets from that. The tombstone and the kill.
Yeah.
That's just sped up his bots pretty nicely.
He is about to get them. He's huge. I think oftentimes when you're undying and you die and you place a tombstone like that, I mean, it happens. Like, it always happens. But then afterwards, you always think like, oh,
you're gonna feel bad.
I should have just died. Yeah. Like, I should have just let it happen. I mean, it feels bad.
It doubles your death bounty.
It doubles your death bounty. Yeah, it's like getting first blood. So you never want that to happen. It's like feeding the bear on Lone Druid. You'd rather your hero die and the bear just, dies on the side when the hero dies.
Yeah, it hurts massively when you're giving it to this hero that's got such a significant item that they're rushing, and yeah, this wave will be it. So you're seeing a 7-minute bots here from Mickey this game.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty damn early. I feel like he's farming incredibly well for being against an SF. Rotation towards top. They do have the Night Stalker nighttime, but he doesn't have his ult.
Should have the means to heal Insania though. Razor's coming from Boom. Insania actually go for the CPX. That didn't stop it. There it is. Cookies in from Tofu.
Yeah, Mickey does not currently have the resources to rotate to this. He's currently farming a stack. He did just pick up his bots. So the question here is...
He's a little low on resources, no bottle charges either, so he's going to have to go base first.
I feel like Tickles is about to dive Razor here. They just have, the Night Stalker roll. This is the dive.
Is there going to be any backup for Matu? There's a TP coming in from Boxy. No, sorry. Boxy, he can just watch from the side. He's going to try and find the tombstone, but the Star Root comes out, give the tombstone line, find a little fall. Now the further backup comes in. Zion Mickey turn up the arenas, drop down. Boom will be caught under the tower. So they'll make Boom pay for the dive. And Tier 1 will be kept pretty nicely there. I mean, you've managed to force the Razor out of the map, but you've lost your mid. Is that worth it for Tickles?
No, I don't think so. I think at this point, SF is supposed to be the one that's making moves and dominating.
Yeah.
Razor, not so much. He's under-leveled because he's a safe laner. So, yeah, you're totally okay making that trade, 100%. You're getting way more gold and XP from killing the SF, which can later translate into the Razor getting net worth. This is one of those interesting matchups where you think that the Razor should do very well against Night Stalker.
Oh, see Mickey.
Yes, lasso.
Nice, good flame break back onto Ace. Ace onto the Firefly as well. Ace still alive, only just finally ticks out. Actually took damage on Mickey, and with the drag back on Tofu, they'll pick up the two of them. So Luke Jirachi and Boom watching from the high ground, but they haven't got any catch for Zion Mickey's. Those two are already out of there. See if they can get this set up onto the Razor, but with the pig pole, Matu's able to speed his way back to safety. So unable to get any sort of catch there. Tickles after Liquid play rather deep into their triangle.
That was an interesting little double back there. So both teams are... The weird thing about these like new age mid carries is that both of them are kind of okay with fighting as well as farming. Like Kunkka can farm stacks, but also he's more than happy to show up to fights in boat. So I don't really think it favors any team to be like, we're wasting their time. Like they should be farming, but they're fighting. It's like both teams are perfectly okay with fighting. What really matters is just like what trades are happening in these fights. So just going back to the SF death, like that's the most important thing that's happened in the last few minutes here. It's just that you're getting all of that XP bounty into some player on the Liquid lineup who can eventually translate that back into Matumba getting some net worth.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, there's not really many stacks going on. They've already been farmed. So it's really just about like smoking and getting a pick off, taking a tower right now for either team. They're both looking to get that mid tower. Bot tower should fall pretty quickly for Liquid.
Dire's top tower
Nobody's down
is
there.
under attack.
No, yeah.
Same with this.
Radiant's middle tower
Looks like
is under
they've
attack.
got no interest in fighting one another right now. It's not in these unfavorable
Dire's
defensive
top tower
positions
is
behind the
under
tier
attack.
ones.
It just gets to a
Radiant's
point where
middle
like
tower is under attack.
trading these towers becomes like way less risky than trying to defend it. I mean, this is a nice little cool play, but
That's nice.
it's just slowing it down is all. It's just slowing it down so you can farm for a little bit more in those areas that you otherwise wouldn't be able to.
See Mickey botsing over into his jungle, try and reclaim some of this area, and he might find himself a
Radiant's
freebie
bottom
here,
tower
Celery.
is under attack.
That's looking pretty free.
Yeah, there's not much he can do as Undying. Maybe look for a deny to Roshan. But Roshan looks like he's got his interest. Oh, do it! Nicely done, Celery.
This death actually doesn't matter.
MVP.
There we have it.
He's just like, I have
Easy
to
denied.
I have to be Undying.
Easy.
Yeah. That's the life of an Undying versus Batrider. It's not super fun. Although the great thing is that you drop the
Radiant's
Tombstone, it's like
bottom tower
equally
is
annoying
under
for
attack.
Batrider to play into Undying. It's just that at this point, Batrider
Radiant's
feels
bottom tower
anytime he
has
finds
fallen.
Undying, it's a free kill.
Yeah, unless Roshan's there, really.
Unless Roshan's there, then it's not free.
Smoking up with Boom. I've got the nighttime ready from Ace. Boxy mid, but you want something bigger.
Dire's
Mickey
middle tower
would be
is
the
under
target.
attack.
Mickey shows his face. So if they can chase him down, though, the Flame Brain knocking back Ace. And with the bots, Mickey's speedy. They can't get on top of him. The nighttime puts away.
Vanish.
Yeah, so this does give Team Tickles, they get a D ward, they get a little bit of a stack. It wasn't a huge stack or anything. I don't think that they're going to be able to get the mid tower from this because the nighttime will be down fairly soon. It's a bit of damage, which is nice, but yeah, Zai, he's already going for the wraparound play. It's daytime, there's no Night Stalker, like you're all of a sudden strong for like 3 minutes. Liquid's gonna pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Team Tickles are keeping their distance as well. They're thinking very carefully about how they approach this mid-tower defense. Mickey, it's in position, ready to charge in. It's gonna see Dracho. It's gonna start things off, grabbing the Kunkka straight back into the clutches of the rest of Liquid. Dracho will still get his combo though with the torrent and the bow. He's still alive underneath this tower. They're desperately diving in to finish him off. Cookie over the top, the talk of Dracho. He's actually able to walk away. He gets dragged into the midst of it. He gets out, stays alive. Zai's going to try for the TP out. Flame Run to knock it back. Doesn't matter. The right click comes in from Boom. A beautiful hold there from Team Tickles in a situation that looked like it was after a disastrous start. The grabs there on the Kunkka, but they couldn't quite kill him, Jenkins.
Yeah, that was one of those situations that like, it should have gone the way of Okay, maybe he's going
back in action. It looks like Liquid may be claiming some of the kills that they were hoping for early as they do get Duraccio there after, and Celery, after what was quite an incredible sequence of surviving for the Kunkka. He does die in the river.
I don't want to beat around the bush, but that is rough. That is really rough to have such a good hold like that, right? And then just walk in and get arrowed like that just sucks. That just really sucks. That's got to be demoralizing because like that fight was amazing. Like the fact that they're able to read that if they put the Kunkka in front and then heal him like that and everybody's backing him up, that they can turn the fight. It delayed the fight for long enough that the Tombstone zombies built up. Yeah. And so all of Liquid were just stuck in. You have the SF ult defending the Kunkka as well. Zai couldn't get his spear off because of the torrent. But then you just walk in and die. Like, that sucks. That's live. That's Dota, isn't it, though? That happens all the time.
It does. You have a great moment, and then you're rudely reminded that you're still playing Dota 2. And
yes.
There will be, suffering to come.
Yeah. They still defended the tower. Both teams kind of sitting around mid. This is the sort of thing you would see in, like, 3K MMR in every single game, except, there's a reason for it. It's like some Prisoner's Dilemma thing where it's like if you put 4 heroes mid, then they have to put 4 heroes to defend it. You don't want to lose the mid tower for free, so you send 5 heroes, they send 5 heroes. All of a sudden, it looks like Herald Dota.
There we go. Nighttime pop, they're ready for the catch on Mickey. Drag back into the boat combo, they get themselves themselves on top of the bat. Insania trying to keep his bat alive. Comes out with the heal in the shallow grave. Finds some time for Mickey to get out to the side, and it's going to be enough. Mickey able to live there with the backup of Insania. Tower will be taken out, and the Team Tickles, they get the objective.
A great save from Insania, as usual, on this Dazzle. Like, he has been so clutch with his Graves, and every single game that I see him play this hero, he clearly just loves playing it. He just enjoys saving his team. Keen Optic definitely helps out. But with that being said, it turns out to all be kind of a distraction to take down that mid tower.
Oh yeah, so far so good. I think when it comes to both, this is a close game. 16 minutes in, 8-7, less than 1k in it. We're seeing quite a beautiful battle here between the two sides, and it keeps continuing. Zai trying to start off with some action, but being found here as Dyrachyo gets his eyes on him first, holds him back.
I like that Dyrachyo toggles the armlet there, like just in case he gets hit by the arrow. Like he looked fairly confident that he was going to be able to dodge it, but just in case, like we saw how effective that was in the huge fight mid where he survived, where if he can get that armlet on so he survives so he can get the boat off, then all of a sudden his toggles look extremely good because he's got the run buff, he's got the heals from Celery on Undying. It's like he's playing for like any scenario to occur, even though he knows he's probably not going to get hit by the arrow. It seems small, but it's one of those things where like if that arrow did connect, it could result in them winning that fight again.
Oh, this is a nice rush. They're doing this pretty quickly and safely with the Tombstone, the Flesh Golem, and Pup.
Man, this is the classic, like, Radiant. Enemy team walks into our jungle. We know that they're holding that area, so let's just take Roche. It's on this side of the map. They're not going to play to us. Hard for them to play into the Tombstone as well.
An easy early Roche here for them. I mean, now they've got Boom with the SF. BKB and Aegis. It's going to be very hard to hold him back in action on the mid. They've already killed off Boxy, and very likely to find Insania as well. Graves only going to buy him a little bit of time. The X-Mark drags him back, not even needed, dies before, so Ace punches him down.
And Team Tickles, they have BKB on Boom. They have almost BKB on Dyrachyo, and then they have
the Ancients.
Yeah, and then Ace almost has BKB as well. So like this is a really scary timing for Liquid. Liquid does have BKB on two of their heroes, Batrider and Razor, and then Zai almost has his. He needs about 400 gold, and he's got his, so.
Because I imagine the thing is as well, right, for Tickles, the scaling, it's better, right? You've got an SF and a Kunkka against a Bat and a Razor. I mean, how do you sort of favor these?
I think so.
The matchup, or are you sort of on the side where Razor actually can be that late game beast to stand toe-to-toe with the cause?
You know, my opinion is like, oh damn, deny the haste rune in the bait.
He's going to try with a setup. See if they can get him this time. Yeah, spear hits. It's a nice one. Gets him speared far away from the rest of his team. So Dyrachyo cannot be saved. This time they kill the Kunkka. They're going to go for more, but Team Tickles, they're actually going to try and stand their ground. Move up the BKB. Ace flies in for the side straight up to Zai. Zai's used the arena, but it's not been able to set up for anything. As Liquid, they're having a run. Ace and Boom continues looking for the chase down onto Mickey.
Ace has his BKB. This is a really good fight.
Yeah, I mean, the Graves going to come out onto Mickey. The Red Crim is going to be there with a pushback just in time to stop the TP out. Ace still frontlining this one with the BKB, cooking away from the static link. Matu's got to back off, used his own BKB, but he cannot fight under it as he starts to fall too low. Team Tickles, I mean, they were perfectly prepared there for Liquid to come up to the high ground. You know, Zai very confidently goes for the team fight, but Boom knows how strong he is. With the BKB and the Aegis, it was always going to be risky trying to push further into that as Liquid.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is both of the heroes that were so close to BKB were the two heroes that died first in that fight. It's like the target priority from both teams is extremely good, because if you go on a BKB target, they just BKB and then walk away. So they focus the Kunkka. In turn, they turn around and focus on Zai, who almost has his BKB. They kill Zai, and then that lets them to be able to kill Mickey, who he had just used his full BKB charge. So yeah, really, really great from Team Tickles. I think they would have preferred if Dyrachyo had his BKB, but it's almost like the fact that he didn't is the bait. yeah,
because it made Liquid go straight in.
Like, yo, he's about to get it. Like, let's kill him right now, because like this is our last opportunity to take that free kill on him. He literally had enough for it. He just had yet to like buy it and send it out in the courier. He just got it at that moment. So when he respawns, he'll have his BKB. That fight's not gonna look the same. But on the flip side, so will Zai. And then these supports are just gonna be dying because there's nobody else to kill. It'll be very sad.
We're back in action here. It's Team Tickles. Trying to break away a little bit. 2k lead, but still with the potential to make moves with the Aegis still residing on Boom. You see, Boom. He's straight to the jungle. Very aggressive positioning here from Boom. I mean, he feels that the team can get there in time to back him up, and he may just be right, because Team Tickles there closing in from the side. Boom. He's going to be able to step back, turn around, get a few raises in onto Matuma Man. The Grave comes down, but Matu is in trouble. They pop Boom the once, but Matu will surely die here. Celery comes in with a final punch to take out the Razor. Tofu, TP out, won't be successful as Box is able to hit him with the arrow. But Liquid, they lose a couple of heroes there. I mean, again, we saw sort of the attention drawn towards the Kunkka before his BKB around the mid working out, and then once deep in the jungle, Boom sort of baiting action, just being there on his own.
Yeah.
And it pays off again. Team Tickles very much, it feels like they're really thinking about how they bait with these cores.
Yeah, 100%. And the people that need to be there in response to the bait are there. Like Celery being in position to heal and hit that absolutely god tier tombstone on the high ground that separated the fight. Like, the two supports on Liquid were just like, yo, guys, we have to kill this tombstone right now, otherwise we're gonna lose this fight. And so they kill it, and then they lose the fight anyway, because Matumba the whole time is just getting hit on the low ground.
Yeah, look at this.
It couldn't have been more perfect. Like, and he survives at 10% HP. So this is the bait. It's like, he's so close to dying. You drop the tombstone on the high ground, all of a sudden you're completely overcommitted.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? That's your carry down there. You gotta help him, but you gotta kill the tombstone first.
Yeah, completely separated. I mean, and like, in all honesty, when you do see that, you do 100% believe that that is sort of Boom being there for that reason. That's not sort of a case of, whoa, what are you doing over there? You're really...
No, 100%. I've seen this.
Yeah, enough to...
In this DPC a lot, actually, where... especially if there's like an outpost available or something like that, as long as there's like a close TP location, what'll happen is the team that has the Aegis sends the Aegis guy somewhere like completely elsewhere from his team. And then the other 4 heroes go to the other side of the map, so they're consuming the entire map. So you either go on the Aegis guy and everybody TPs, Aegis dies, but then you team wipe them, or you go on the 4 heroes, which is not good because you're losing. They have an Aegis. So it just leaves you like no good option. I think I actually saw Liquid do the exact same move. Similar move.
Top tower is under attack.
I see mid Liquid will be able to push out the tier 1 tower, but Trade, of course, losing their own tier 2 top. So the jungle of Liquid really opening up now for Team Tickles to get in.
Bottom tower is under
now they
attack.
have that outpost, so you can... We'll see a lot more of these like TP plays, splitting up of the map and then TPing into that outpost.
Yeah.
They go for the immediate smoke. Because they've already cleared out the area, they've already farmed it, they pushed the wave in, so nothing left to do there, may as well just go and hunt. They feel strong right now.
And they've got Nighttime ready to summon as well.
They're playing into a bunch of BKBs though, so it's not the easiest fight.
See McKay. He's holding on to his BKB for now. See if he gets forced to use it here. And he's going to pop it now. Use the time to lock down the Night Stalker. The arena comes down. BKB's already up for Duracho. Ace, he's able to get over the BKB. Flies over the relay with the BKB. He's back to safety now. Swoops over towards Instania. Stadia tries with the TPL. But the cookie's there. Again, Team Tickles taking these fights favorably. They don't have detection. Oh, they do now. They'll drop down a sentry. They'll find him after all. And Ace, he's even pushing back onto Matu. But the rest of the team not quite able to chase with the same speed of him on his Night Stalker. And once more, I mean, Team Tickles, they really are reading the situation against Liquid very, very well here, as they're starting to build up this lead. And Liquid, as I say, with some of their heroes, they have these big playmaking cores, and Team Tickles, they're just reading every play that Liquid's trying to do.
Yeah, that was... Did you see the lasso into the spear attempt from Zai? Like, I don't know if it was because Night Stalker was flying that it didn't work, or because the lasso like overrides the spear movement, which means you don't get the stun. But I actually think the lasso into spear attempt on the Night Stalker was the right move. Like, that would actually result in a really nice team fight if you can take Ace out.
No, he went for
at the start.
I mean, that spear, Zai, he was not aiming for Ace at all in the end.
But I feel like it should have hit him still. Like, it kind of went through both of them, right?
Nah, that angle, it wasn't in the Night Stalker.
I don't know, dude. I feel like that spear catches me when I'm way over here.
But you're right, if it had hit the Night Stalker, that would have probably played out better.
I think
then they would have had a chance to maybe lock him down. But
pre-BKB, yeah, it was pre-BKB. Like, I can see what maybe they were trying to go for there. If they can get either of those targets, but...
I think Zai was just going for the Kunkka. I think he was just hoping to get the Kunkka Dracho before the BKB comes out so he doesn't get his combo off.
Oh, so he can't save the.
Yeah, because he gets the boat off and suddenly the fight's just over anyway.
Yeah,
right?
that's
you know,
true, that's
so
true.
you pin down the Night Stalker if the boat comes down. So Zai went for the riskier play, but obviously didn't pay out because Drasho was quick on the BKB.
Yeah.
But if he had clipped him,
I would
maybe he would've played that better.
wager though that I don't think you can spear out of lasso. I don't think that works.
No, I don't think it pushes them out of the lasso, but I think if it would spear and hit a thing behind it, it would still stun. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure. Spear has really weird interactions. I would need to test it.
Yeah, but if there's another spell it does that with, like if you spear something and the thing doesn't move, but if it was able to move and it would have hit a tree,
I think it will
stay where it is, but it'll be stunned.
If you spear and then shield crash or whatever the hell.
Yeah, like that.
You can stun them on the spot.
Yes. But you don't think that works with things like Villanza where they're stuck in a spot, but if they would have hit a tree, they'll be stunned where
I'm not sure. Like I said, it might have been the flying of the Night Stalker too, because I know with pudge hooking, you can like, it looks like you hook through the guy, but really
I think in that situation, I just don't think he hit him at all.
Alright, well, agree to disagree. Flying is so weird in Dota. Oh, he's got a gem. He picked up the full gem, which I think.
Hey, we've got the replay again.
No, come on. Okay.
He's not even close to hitting the Night Stalker.
Yeah, well, wait.
He's miles away from the Night Stalker.
Look where his circle is though. This like that intersected with the circle.
Oh, I see.
Look at the circle. Look at the circle.
I'm looking at the circle.
Bro, oh come on. That
Dire's
surely
top tower is under attack.
Come on. Wait, is Mr. Obsman showing us because it did actually stun him? I don't think it did.
I don't know. What does the Obs think? Would it have hit the Night Stalker if he wasn't in a lasso, basically?
Just draw on the map your answer on Obsman. No, don't do that. No. Okay, yeah, going on Insania first. Ace has his BKB. This is
Ace is just chilling.
Oh yeah, I don't.
He's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh, that's he dies and his courier dies.
Yeah,
that feels bad there for Insania.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for being a position 5. You don't get to have fun. Now, Night Stalker dewards absolutely everything with the flying vision, although you can't find any wards.
That's what I see now in Drasho. A lot of minus armor coming out from the Tickles. I mean, they're just not scared at all, Tickles. Look at the way they stand. They just step there. They're ready. Liquid's having to hide. They're having to play very careful now. They've sort of had a few too many fights where they've tried to go all in and it's not gone great. They've got to be so careful how they decide to start their action. They're going to try and catch them off guard with the smoke.
Damn, they're going for the full wraparound. It looks like they're going to find Duraccio here, though, on the way.
If he's quick with the BKB and an ult, then so the whole effort's put to waste.
I mean, 3,000 HP, Assault Cuirass, like this boy is tanky.
He's huge.
Radiant are scared.
Dude, I love the patience here.
Oh, Boom's already found the action. He stepped in with the BKB over to the side. They'll commit the BKB, stay on top of it. Boom's going to go for the TP out, but the lasso's there to cancel it. Boom drags to the side. They'll come over the solar repeal. It's not enough to keep Boom alive. Boom goes down. Kiss is coming in, and the BKB's about to wear off for Liquid, so Liquid's going to split. Zai, Arena down, locks out Celery and Tofu. Hasn't quite got the damage to kill Celery straight up, though. And Ace is there ready to turn things around onto Zai. Zai, he can't finish Celery off. Zai goes down. Mickey commits with the flame break over towards Tofu. Tofu will tick out. But Mickey, he's got no backup. 3 heroes already dead on Liquid. Mickey's going to be shot to follow. Save to be sent for Box. He jumps into his own demise. A team wipe. As again, despite Liquid's best efforts to really try and find a favorable fight, it goes worse than all the work wants they've had so far. This time, everybody dies.
You know, I can see why they fully committed to that fight, though, and why everybody dies despite it looking so good at the start. It's like because it looks so good that they hard committed to it, right? Because it's like, okay, this is, like, we're killing Boom first because we did this beautiful wraparound play. If this fight isn't going to work, like, what the hell is?
But that's got to be the scary thing for Liquid right now. Because if you're Liquid, like, what's in your head right now? You've tried all these things, and it's just not working against Team Tickles.
Yeah, so that's the issue with playing this triple core versus triple core lineup where, like, if you had a Terrorblade or something like that, you just farm and wait for your next power spike and then go fight. But it's like, the way the Liquid draft wants to win is by fighting. That's how they want to farm. Both of these lineups want to fight. So it's not like one of those things where, like, if you're losing, you fight when they want to farm, or you farm when they want to fight. Both teams want to fight.
Okay. He will get Tofu here. See if he can do anything about it. He has got a BKB available. But no TP and heavy physical hits coming in from Mason Dracho, of course, with the AC. BKB comes to an end. Ace thinking about chasing up to the high ground with Matu and Insania are by Mickey's side. BKB is committed. Dracho is ready with the lockdown. X-Mark setup is there. Gets Mickey caught back in the combo. A great catch from Dracho and a quick pause from Ace.
Oh no!
A mega lag. What do you think clarifies as a mega lag?
I believe.
Oh, there we go. We got the number. 1,000 ping.
All right.
That's quite a lot of. What is that?
You asked. I think he was drinking a Red Bull.
No, I mean the ping. 1,000 ping.
1,000 ping
is what? 10 seconds?
It's 1,000 seconds.
No, it's 1 second.
It's 1,000.
How many pings in a second?
60, because there's 60 frames per second.
What? No, no. Shut up. Anyway, games continue.
1,000 MS is 1 second.
It's 1 second. Yeah. That's not that bad.
It's not that
playable.
Bad. Average human reaction time is about 250 milliseconds. For a gamer, it's probably closer to 200.
Thanks for kind
maybe a
nice
little bit,
words.
maybe a little bit better. You won't find somebody with like 150 milliseconds reaction time. So if you think like 100 ping to whatever server is bad, well, you're already playing on like 100 to 200 ping.
What pro player has the best reaction time?
That's the best reaction time. Oh god.
Anyone that comes to mind that you've seen do sort of like lightning reactions that you're like,
honestly,
that dude,
it's like Zai or Sumail.
Yeah. Here we have some action talking about Zai. They will get the start up onto Duracho. This time they'll be able to take him out. BKB committed by Zai, but Boom's hitting hard. Zai's got to back off in. Dust out.
I love this.
Zai stepping away. It's got to work. Axe Paco underneath the tower. Grave comes to an end, but the heals are enough to keep Zai alive. He'll be saved. That's a big kill for Liquid, getting the Kunkka. Can they get more out of this? Doesn't look like it. Hard hits from Boom. They've got to respect this SF. Boom punching hard at the moment.
Man, this is an interesting call from Team Tickles to keep staying here and clear all these camps, because I mean, I suppose Mickey is dead, but I feel like Duracho has been a huge part of each of these team fights.
Yeah.
And so you can see Matumba, like, he senses. He's like, what the hell are you guys doing here? There's no Nightstalker ulti. It's daytime. Like, it's go time if you're Liquid. And they've actually smoked up behind Zai.
Yeah, but look at
Matumba.
They're just charging at them. The whole back now. Look at the mid-wave push in a little bit, but poking at the tier 2 might be hard. It's, 30 seconds until Kunkka's back in, and it's likely he's going to be here for the defense to keep going. So Liquid will back off.
They gave the Arcane Rune to Nightstalker. I
like it.
That is really cool.
Yep.
That is not... I've literally never seen a team do that before with Nightstalker. The offlaners almost never get these runes.
I mean, what's the big stuff? What's sort of the uptime on the silence at night then?
Oh man.
The Arcane
almost
down to
almost 100%, right? Be down to like what? So there's a talent for it, but usually people go for the strength talent. Yeah, so it'll be like, 3 seconds downtime or something, which is absolutely insane. It's so annoying to deal with. But it's more like the ulti. The fact that you're going to have this up more times during this next daytime, which is, they have 5 minutes or like 4 minutes left of this. So super value right now to get this Arcane Rune on Nightstar. It's super cool. Man, this team does like cool shit.
They're thinking. This is a team that thinks.
Yes, 100%. It's like we saw it at the start with Celery and the little warding thing that they do all the time with the smoke, and then actually sending a core round to ward. It's like this team just innovates, and it doesn't surprise me that Celery hit what, 11k or something recently?
11k
as a support.
11k support.
He's just like really high skill and thinking on another level right now. And this like, it surprises me because I think most people thought Liquid would probably be the better team by a long shot. They look like the best team, but it also kind of doesn't. Just given what we know about these players. I feel like Duracho has been playing these like crazy ass safe laners too. I mean, SF Kunkka every game it's insane.
Do you think in this meta and with the way that the game's playing out nowadays, that having this ability to have sort of Kunkka SF and put them mid-side, like have that potential to swap them between mid and carriers is pretty huge for a team?
It's huge. I mean, it's absolutely huge.
Because you dodge sort of what, like, oh no, a last pick bat, whatever will we do?
Yeah, you dodge things in the draft. You also have this lineup that's comfortable with both farming and fighting. Like I said, I think Razor functions in a very similar way on the flip side. Like, I think this is also the type of carry that is good at running at things, but also scales incredibly well into the late game. But I think that Kunkka and SF in the safe lane have that factor of nobody knows how the hell to deal with it yet. And that's extremely valuable. Because people have played, what, 15 years of Dota at this point? How many Razor safe lanes have you dealt with? Like, people, you barely play Dota, you're gonna deal with Razor safe lanes. How about Kunkka safe lane? I've never seen it before this DPC.
It's going very well. Lincoln's done on Dyrachyo. Very hard now for Liquid to find that opportunity to jump, control and burst him before he gets a bow out. So, you know, pretty reliably Tickles will be fighting with the run buff.
Yeah, Boom also going for a Lincoln Sphere just because the only BKB piercing things in this game that are a problem would be the Razor Link and the Batrider Lasso, both of which are countered by Lincoln Sphere. And it's such a cheap item now for what it does, for the stats it gives. Lincoln's is just like an OP item straight up. It's like Scotty level of busted right now.
Look for the setup on Zai. Nicely done with the blink though, Zai. Break the combo without having to use that BKB.
Speaking of reactions, like that's just the sort of stuff you kind of expect Zai to do. That's just a classic Zai right there.
Yeah, full Satanic as well. So Zai, you know, we're talking about tanky people on Tickles. Zai with the BKB, Satanic, and of course the backup of Insania. It's going to be a pretty formidable frontliner.
Dire's top
I like this Mars build a lot. This is what a Mars does, and this is what a lot of Marses have been doing. The Mars spammers will do this, and it makes you this like late game menace, not in the sense that you're really doing a ton of damage, but it's more that like the enemy team has to commit so many resources to kill you, and you're constantly life-stealing to full HP because you have this reduced cooldown on God's Rebuke. You're just, and also the crit damage, possibly at 25.
Now let's see if Liquid can catch them off guard this time. They're in with the smoke. Team Tickles have the ward set up. So he's going to tank the arrow. He's going to tank the arrow to start the fight here. He'll be the first to fall. They've got the torrent out in return. They're looking for Mika, but now Mika with the BKB will step to the side. Ace tries to get on top of Insania, but Matsu's there to cover Insania and push Ace back off him. Boom. Been speared to the tree for now. Zai trying to grip with the BKB, and they've got enough damage to burst down Boom. The last of all they do, they bring down Boom. The big SF has been taken out. Dyrachyo tries for the BKB TP. He's not going to make it away. Liquid have the damage as they come back into the game with a solid punch there, securing a triple kill for Matumba Man.
These smoke plays from Liquid are so insanely good. Like, each time they're just completely wrapping around to the back lines and catching.
Look at the damage that Razor, you know, Matu deals out in the fight there. 8k damage, pretty much.
Yeah, that's it. Also, like, it allows them. I like that they move away from the tombstone. They don't try to kill it on the high ground. They just split the fight. They're just like, oh, no, we're just not gonna fight around that. We killed Celery. Let's just dodge the tombstone and fight elsewhere. But man, like, I mean, I know it's probably Insania making these calls, but just because I can't say for sure, whoever's making the calls to do these smokes is like 100% winning Liquid the game right now.
Yeah.
It's like, you could tell the Team Tickles were not expecting that angle at all.
No, which, you know, that goes to show how good of a smoke it was, because for the previous moves, it has been Team Tickles having a pretty good read of exactly what was coming for them. That time round wasn't the case. Zai, Arena down, he's been able to trap Celery. They're going to be able to keep pushing on, pick up another undying kill. And they'll take out the mid set racks. Mickey trying to see if he can get a bit of a cheeky grab onto Ace, but Ace will slide his way back to base. They'll swing round to the bottom, and off the back of what's been a mid-game where Liquid were falling behind in the gold, that one smoke has just blown open the game completely. Mid-bracks are gone. They're going to be able to take this bottom set as well. Huge damage done to Tickles. See, if they can do anything with that, they can force this fight, but they can't. A buyback comes out. They won't quite get this racks. It will be held. See if Team Tickles can get a kill off the back of this. Ace charging in. BKB is at the ready for Matu though, so a hard target to find him with the Moonlight Shadow. Liquid able to sneak away. Ace has got that gem. Not quite able to get the setup, or at least not before the rest of his team's able to be close enough to back up any sort of initiation he finds. So Liquid, they safely get out.
Yeah, they've got to deal with the lanes. They're all pushed in. The call to back there too, the BKB usage, the force staffing out. Like, that's just such a disciplined play. Man, Liquid is looking scary, man.
Yeah, to sort of pull things back after a rough start here in this game. Jump forward from Zai. He's got Arena in 10 seconds. No BKB for 25. An awkward jump forward there from Zai. Won't get punished.
Yeah, that's 6 stacks on Dyrachyo. I mean, that's a lot of damage.
That's a bit of a rough time for Zai to take the fight, because Roshan is at the ready. Tickles are going to head over to the pit. Liquid, they'll smoke up. Zai does have a buyback. Do you buy back on the Mars here to try and contest it?
I think so. I think the reason that he's playing like that is because he has the buyback. Although it's not doing it so quickly.
It's going to... It's just, yeah, the buyback comes in, but it's too late. Did he grab it? Bring it up! Mickey was able to get in to get the axe and the cheese. Hesitation from Team Tickles. And they leave the axe and the cheese on the ground. Mickey's able to jump, but he gets both of them. See how the raid of this 5 plays off besides him with the BKB on top of Ace. Boom, go for the BKB TPI. He'll make it out of there. But I don't think the rest of Team Tickles are getting home safely. As Duracho left behind. Seri able to somehow hide in the pit and TP out. They won't find him. Tofu also TPing out about 1% HP. Actually manages to get away. But it's the big one down. Duracho's gone 80 seconds. And I mean, they took Roshan incredibly quickly, but they didn't pick up what he that quickly at all. We'll see it
I can't believe, you know, like,
but there's an axe and a cheese.
I wanted to say that this fight, like, they couldn't get there in time on Liquid because they did the full wraparound again, but it gets them the eggs because Team Tickles was like, well, surely they're not going to come from behind the Roche pit. Why? They wouldn't be able to fight Roche. Why would they do that? To get the eggs, dude.
Oh my, I mean, look at this barrier. Mickey at the Octory. Now he's picked up an axe thanks to that as well. Grabbing the axe from the pit.
Man.
He's terrifying.
Yeah.
Get him with the BKB, the axe lasso. That could very much start off the fight to end the game.
He is just all of a sudden top net worth. That's a lot of gold. I think you get like 6,200 or something from the eggs that drops out of the pit, because it counts as a synth as well.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Man, that is devastating.
Has fallen.
And now Liquid back in business to take out the bottom racks. And they get the grab on the waist. Arena down as well, a completely separated for the rest of the team. They won't manage to put the BKB though, and over the trees he goes. Ace actually will live for now. Well, I say that they do try and chase that. Linking forward, Mickey was on the HUD, but Ace, under the cover of nighttime, will manage to survive. Liquid, they won't be two-faced. They got the objective, they got what they came for. Just going to be a case of sweeping around the top lane and starting to eye up that final set of racks as Team Tickles, real test on them now to see what they can do down 8k against Liquid.
Right, and now we're in the same situation that we saw earlier, except we're on the flip side of it, where once again both teams,
let's see what they can do.
They're fighting teams, so the only way back into the game is by fighting. You have to take a smoke that's at the same level as these Liquid smokes, these like complete wraparounds, which is not easy to do, especially when you have no nighttime. 4 minutes, no nighttime, or 80 seconds until they have the ult.
Yeah, you can almost feel with the smoke that they're holding back. They're not going to look to charge straight in. They'll be able to find the Courier of Zai, so refresher orb put out of the game for a little bit, for a few minutes. Yeah, I guess it was still short on the gold anyway. It was just holding it there to farm up that. It was second perseverance. He's got the gold for one of them.
Yeah, that's not the biggest of deal. I don't think Zai, I mean, the most important person in these fights is definitely Mickey now that he's got that Aghanim Scepter. Like, he could completely end the game with one good lasso.
And of course they still got the cheese on Matu off that engagement.
Yeah, that's
the push.
That's pretty value. Yeah, that's pretty value. That hero with like
cheese, satanic, refresher, BKB satanic again.
Second cheese, of course, the refresher.
Sure.
Imagine you could refresh cheese. Well, you can actually. You have two of them.
You actually can because it has what, like a 300-second cooldown.
I think it's a 40-second cooldown.
Oh, it's 40.
Yeah, the use of cheese is called fondue. In case yeah, fondue.
Do you like fondue?
Dire's bottom tower is
the chocolate stuff, maybe, and maybe not the cheese.
Not the cheese fondue. No.
I don't like fondue.
Hey.
So they're going for another smoke wraparound.
Look at it, this Courier.
Oh, got it. What the hell was that range? Are you kidding me?
A God's Rebuke.
Oh.
Big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Smashes it out of the sky, and that's a Lincoln spin.
Yeah, that's really important. I mean, we talked about how important the lasso is in these fights. Lasso as well as Link. Yeah, that is a very sad empty slot.
Time to buy a raindrop. So at least, look six-slotted.
Yeah, for sure. Or a branch. Extra tankiness, yeah. Dude, Zai's God's Rebuke is a 4.9-second cooldown.
And a lot of damage.
3.5 seconds slow.
And a lot of heals. There we go, they're going to go for the jump and they're trying to get it staying out first. They're able to do so. They keep him under the stars, they take him down. Zai turns with the arena. Caught Tofu. Tofu's there, but Cookie making his way out the side. Matu staying on target with the full BKB and link onto Boom. Boom's ready to now look to turn him with Ace also staying on top of Matu. Matu might be in trouble, pushed back by the Requiem. Tofu ends up dying to the lightning storm surrounding Matu. And in fact, Boom, he will look to try and stand with the heals for Satanic, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Ace and Dracho have found Mickey. But Matu still stands strong, still has the cheese. Moonlight Shadow used to get Zion to further position as he jumps forward, gets the angle to pin back Duracho. As the BKB on cooldown, Duracho trying his best to toggle all the way back to base. The E-Blade's in to slow him down, Duracho falls. He's got his buyback ready, but Celery and Boom out for a full minute. As Boom short 1200 gold of a buyback, Celery hits still on cooldown. Liquid, they may not have Mickey, but the four of them left alive can easily continue to push on.
Radiant structures.
See what they can do here to hold
Nice.
fortification.
That doesn't work, I guess. All right.
See if they can find Matu, as Matu still seems pretty unfazed here by the hits for Team Tickles. Now they'll look to jump. Push back with a blast into the boat. Little straight as well. Fully focusing now. Matu with the grave comes out. Matu's going to be able to turn. 5 seconds till the BKB's up. As Matu, can they finish him in time? Ace trying his best to torrent attack. They do. They bring Matu down, but they lose Ace through. Ace will buy back. Duracho able to dodge the arrow. Ace ends up tanking it to the face. Spear from Zai keeps Duracho outside of the fountain. He's not letting him run back to the safety of his fountain. As Zai picks up another triple kill for him. He's ready to dive in as well. Ultra killer Zai smashes Ace out of the game. GG is called as Liquid will take this game 1.
Radiant's middle tower.
This scares me to see Dota played at this high of a level because I feel like it's better for Liquid, for themselves, for Liquid fans, and for anybody that supports them to see Liquid losing the early game like that and then still looking